everything.
Alright guys, we are back in Free Code Camp. We're going to be doing the JavaScript Calculator. Now, just give you a quick view of what it looks like when it's completely done. It's just a basic calculator, does everything that you need it to do, like so forth. Then we can continue on. -8, so this would be 10. You can clear everything, or clear one, and then I'll clear everything, and keep on going. So, your basic calculator did some minimal styling, but let's go ahead and jump right into this. So we're going to be using CodePen as usual to be doing this. If you're not familiar with CodePen, go ahead and create an account. It's completely free. We're going to start off by just go ahead and naming this. And for me, I'll call it JavaScript or jQuery Calculator, FCC, and then YouTube. Long name for mine, but just so that I know what I'm going to do with it later on. So this first video, we're going to kind of set up the HTML so that we know what it is that we're trying to do. First off, let's go ahead and import all the resources that we're going to be using. We're going to be using Bootstrap. We're also going to be using the jQuery library as well. So make sure to go ahead and import that. So the reason that we use Bootstrap is just saves us a little bit of time. So we'll go ahead and start off by creating a simple div, and we're gonna give it a class called text center. This is a Bootstrap class. It basically just centers your text. You know, this isn't key to anything, but it is helpful. We're then gonna have an h1 tag here that is basically just gonna be the title of our page here, which is jQuery Calculator FCC. We can put free code camp. So there's that. Yeah, it looks alright. And then we'll have an H2 here so that we can, if anyone stumbles upon it, we can kind of promote ourselves, and people may see, oh well, this guy has a YouTube channel, let's check it out. Just go ahead and put your name if you're gonna do something like that. Cool. So we have our basic setup thus far. Now, the next thing that I did was for the top rounded part of the calculator, I created a div called Calc Output. That's going to be what we're going to, when our text is changing from 0, plus or minus 1, 2, 3, divide, return the total, it's all going to be outputted into this div that's called Calc Output. So let's go ahead and create that. We're going to have a div. We're not going to be able to see it quite yet because it's not going to have anything in it. But this is basically just for later on where we're going to then be outputting our data. While we're at it, we'll go ahead and lower that a little bit. And then within here, I just created a simple span that's going to be targeted for it to be outputted to. Now, the div is there to do the styling aspects. Within here, we have the span that is going to... We'll put a default 0 in here so that when the page loads, it starts off empty with an empty like array with just quotations in it, and then from there we just this is just for display purposes. And you could do this a variety of ways. I just thought it was easiest to have it set up to start with a 0. And we're gonna give this ID called steps. This will be targeted later on. And then we're gonna put in a little HR here for styling, a little horizontal rule or a line basically. Now it doesn't look too clear, but this is our line that if you saw briefly, there's a small little line that we mess with. So here's our, we have our first area that's set up for our output. You see our 0 right here off to the side. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to create another class, another div, with the class equal to text center. And this is going to be the gray part of the calculator, the bulk of where all the buttons are. So we're going to just do a little something something. Now I just use some line breaks because some people are going to probably ask in the comments, how come you didn't use rows and columns? Because the way a calculator is organized, you really don't want it to shift around. Calculators have sort of a very certain design, and so that's why we're not going to be making this responsive. So we're going to give this ID also called calculator so that we can do the CSS and target it in our jQuery. Now within here, we're going to have a few things. We're just going to basically create our buttons. Now all the buttons are the same except the first two because we're making them red just to stand out because they're the ones that delete things. So to do that, we're just going to use anchor tags, and we're going to use a class that's defined in Bootstrap that's btn-danger. The only difference between this and the btn primary that we're going to be saying is the color. This is going to have an ID also, so each one of these is going to need an ID so that we can target them in our jQuery. This one's going to be delete all. It'll be our button AC, which will then delete all the values in the calculator that are in there to that point so that we can start fresh if we make a mistake. So you'll see here's our AC. We're going to do the same thing now for the back one class, or basically to just go back a step. And this is also going to be btn-danger, and then we're going to give it an ID called back1. When I'm doing this, I always try to name it as what everything does the best I can. So this will be our CE. And now we're going to change it up a little bit. It's going to be pretty similar, but we're going to go ahead and create a class here that the only difference is we're now going to move on to the btn primary classes, and these are all going to be blue. That's the only difference. And then in here, we're going to have a class equal to. Now, in here, I just get everything by the ID because there's really no reason to name it 7 or divide or anything if these operators are the same in your calculator work in JavaScript. Now, you can do it a variety of ways. This is just how I did it, and this actually needs to be ID, excuse me. So this is our division. So put a slash, and then so you see everything's kind of coming together. Where did I mess up? And put our slash right here. There we go. So let's go ahead and pull this up a little bit so you can see what's going on here. And now we're going to do one more for the multiplication. In the interest of time, I'm just going to kind of copy and paste this in here, but it's the same exact thing, except we're putting in the multiplication like so. So everything's looking pretty clean cut thus far. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a line break. You do that by simply putting a br slash. Now the reason we're doing this is we want everything to line up nice and pretty like, and as we go on, we're going to do the same thing for 7, 8, 9, 10, and minus. So let's go ahead and just Control C this into here, and you'll see right now we have our 7, 8, 9, 10, and then the minus section. Everything's pretty straightforward thus far, I hope. So you'll see that this is in here. So each one of these lines, we're going to go ahead and do another br slash, or a line break. And we're going to put in the next values, which is 4, 5, 6, and then the plus sign. So go ahead and pause the video if this is moving a little too fast, because I know I'm control pasting this in here. 1 second. So we have our final line, which will be the 1, 2, 3, and then the dot. Oh, excuse me, I take that back. This is we have one more line. So we'll put a br slash here, and then we have the 1, 2, 3, the dot, and then we have our 0 and total. And these ones are slightly different. The reason for that is I just wanted them to take up a little bit more because it's not an even thing. So we have a class that's equal to btn and btn-primary, and then our custom class that we'll get into in the next video called big button, and then we'll give this an ID equal to 0, and then we'll go ahead and close this, put a 0 in here, and then finally we'll give it a class. Oops. And same thing here. This is going to be btn-primary, and this is our custom class big button, and then this ID will set equal to total. Go ahead and put an equal sign /a, and that completes the HTML portion of what we're going to do right now. So, oops, I forgot to put the equal sign somewhere. I'll put the equals. Save it. So in the next video, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and style it. So you see we have all our buttons, we have the general layout. We're going to do the styling so that as we're working at this, we can see the output easily and everything. And then in the following video, we'll follow up with the CSS. So I hope you guys found this helpful. Getting started in the JavaScript Calculator. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and a special thanks to you supporting me on Patreon. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hey guys, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and support me on Patreon. And if you're looking for additional video material to supplement your learning, go ahead and check out Team Treehouse. And if you're a recent graduate or a current college student looking for part-time work, full-time work, or internships, check out wayup.com. As always, I'll see you guys next time.